can you can leverage on technology to actually derive these skills that you need. There's so many tools out there. There are so many applications out there that you can download on your devices, or you can sign up for courses that would help you refine these skills or develop these skills, hereby developing your full potentials. So remember that for me, my belief is that we have to shift from the era of being taught to actually learn on your own. You don't have to wait to be spoon fed. You don't have to wait to be pushed over pushed, or you don't have to wait for your teachers to keep giving you the direction or the line to go. You can do it. Think it, and you will be able to achieve it. Technology is here to stay. Like I said before, leverage on all the benefits you have centered around technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everything you have just said is you can't say this enough. You can't say this enough. And I am grateful for the reminder. I am sincerely grateful for the reminder. Shifting from being taught to learning in itself, self-education is one of the most powerful things we have as individuals, as people, regardless of age. And informing yourself about technology and reaping its benefits going forward is something everyone must key into. I'm so grateful that you shared this with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So we will be bringing up another amazing person. All right. His name is Barrister Taiwo Akinlami. Barrister Taiwo has been a social development and public interest lawyer for 21 years, and he has founded the Securing a Friendly and Protective Environment for Children Academy at the SAFE School of Standards, which today has a membership of close to 400 children and over 150 parents and other caregivers. He also co-founded the Power Parenting Company, and these are pioneering institutions in Nigeria employing the right-based approach to parenting, envisioning, designing, planning, and providing of care for the precious African children. His project was showcased at the Child Safety Summit 2017 for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. It was organized by Google and Facebook, which held in Dublin, Ireland. Today, Barrister Taiwo is referred to as Nigeria's and arguably Africa's foremost subject matter expert in the pioneering areas of securing a friendly and protective environment, a family strengthening practitioner, researcher, thought leader, content provider, and policy developer, reaching primary and secondary school parents on leading platforms like APEN, ACSI, NAPS, UNICEF, British Council, USAID, UNFPA, all right, the Nigerian states and federal government, Facebook and Google, all right. He has authored 11 books, 33 audio programs and courses, as well as ebooks, which are currently published on his blog, taiwoakinlamiblog.com. And this blog happens to have over 796 articles, which have been respectively viewed and visited by over 100,000 people. All right. Barrister Taiwo, since 2013, has facilitated the core and transferable skills training for the British Council, working with school leaders and teachers from private and public schools. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I invite and welcome Barrister Taiwo to the Teens Platform 2020.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure being with you tonight. Thank you, Mrs. Vivian Davids, for inviting me again. It's my second missionary journey. Thank you. I appreciate other facilitators that are on this platform. I can see Mrs. Ronke Posh. I can see a couple of other people. Thank you for doing this for these young people. What our young people need most today is not internet, though they do need internet. What our young people need most today is direction. direction, because there are so many voices out there speaking to them, so many voices. And never in the history of the world have our children faced the kind of crisis they face today in terms of knowing what to do, knowing what platform to follow, what to do, like now. So it's always a function of contact. Contact will lead to content. Content will lead to conduct. That is what our young people are dealing with. In matter of receiving information, there are no rough edges. Everything you contact either leave you better or bitter. Everything you contact leave you better or bitter. Young people, I'm to talk to you this afternoon about your personal safety and self-protection. How do you begin to think in a world that is saturated with information? How do you begin to think in a world that has become over diversified? How do you begin to think in a world where skill seems to be taking the place of value? And we forget that at the end of the day, it is not about skill fundamentally. It is about putting value as the foundation of your skill. When your skills are not resting on the platform of value, then your skills become a vice to the society. So skills without value will make you a vice to the society. So Adolf Hitler was very, very brilliant. Adolf Hitler was one of the most brilliant human beings that has ever lived. Very brilliant, very strategic. But to his brilliance, he did not add value. To his brilliance, he did not add human face. He did not add human feeling. It became one of the worst things that has ever happened to human history. So young people, I want to urge you today, as you learn skill, as you want to go online, your guiding force online is your value system, your sense of what is right or what is wrong. So in talking to you about your safety tonight, I want to talk to you about fundamental principles, which I think can help you. And if you have any question, I'll be ready to take your question. But it's a short presentation, and I just want to see what I can do in the short time I have. I'm told I have 15 minutes. I want to see what I can do within that short time to help you to understand why you should take personal responsibility for your safety. You know, the first question I would like to ask you before I tell you those three fundamental principles is, what qualifies you for the consequences of your action? The question is, what exactly qualifies you for the consequences of your action? I want to say to you very quickly that what qualifies you for the consequences of your action is your ability to take that action. Once you are able to take an action, you lose your right to be protected from the consequences. You cannot eat and say you don't want to go to the toilet. You cannot get into water and be hoping not to be wet. Any action that you are able to take, whether you are 10, you are 5, you are 15, you are 16, you are 17, you are 18, you are 19, you are 80. What qualifies you for the consequences of your action is your ability or your decision to take the action. You cannot take an action and be begging to be exonerated for the consequences. The world does not work that way. Once you breathe in oxygen, you must release carbon dioxide. Once you breathe in oxygen, we must release carbon dioxide. You cannot live on the time of, I only want to take oxygen, I don't want to release carbon dioxide, and you are now begging nature. Nature, I have a petition. My petition is, please help me. I only want to take oxygen. I don't want to give carbon dioxide. And so your mom asks you, your dad asks you, what are you praying about? What are you researching about? Say, Daddy, I'm online trying to research on how I can live on only oxygen without releasing carbon dioxide. It's not going to work. There's no such research. It's not going to work. You are just writing a quick letter to death. Once you begin to take in only oxygen, I am not releasing carbon dioxide, or you are releasing carbon dioxide, you say, I'm just a joyful giver. I don't take anything from anybody. I just love giving. I don't take, there's no such human being. Don't mind that politician who said, I don't take anything from anybody. Even God takes things from people, not talk of human being. So you need to understand that whatever action you take today is a sign that you are ready for the consequences. I need you to understand that being young does not mean being stupid. Being young does not mean you are immune against the consequences of your action. Being young does not mean you are rehearsing for life. Life has started. Life started when you were conceived in the womb. Being young does not mean you have time. Now I'm 50 years old. Add one Olympics and add one World Cup and one Nations Cup. I'll be 60 years old. Another Olympics, another World Cup, another Nations Cup. I'll be 70. Before you know it, I'm in the departure land of life. I'm on my way out. Don't think because you are young, you have time. You don't have any time. Time is ticking. When was I 6 years old there? When I started primary school? When was I 12 years old here? When I finished secondary school? When was I 20 years old here? When I got to the university? When was I 27 years old here? When I was caught when I left the university? When was I 29 years old here? When I was caught in a Nigerian bar? When was I 36 years old here? When I got married? Now I'm 50 years old, just like yesterday. I don't know how I became 50. I do not know how it happened. I'm still sitting down, looking at myself. So you are 50. How did you become 50? My life from age 6 or even before is before me. So what I'm telling young people, you don't have time. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to gaze. You don't have time to mess up. And whatever you do today, the impact remains with you forever. There are some decisions I took when I was growing up, when I was young, when I was your age, that if I had known better, I would not take those decisions. So some people say they don't have regrets. Me, I have. I have a lot of regrets. But the difference is that I've been able to bring out lessons from my regrets, so I don't dwell on my regrets. So that you too, you will not come to my age and say, I have a lot of regrets. I have a regret. I want to charge you. What you need to do is to understand that life has started. You are not rehearsing for life. You are not immune against the consequences of your action. Your responsibility is to take action in the direction of wisdom and how to protect yourself. So I share with you those 3 principles and I'll be out of here. Now, the number 1 principle I want to share with you is that you must recognize that you are a person of worth. Why must you be protected from abuse? And why must you protect yourself? Number 1, you must recognize that you are a person of worth. You are a person of worth. How are you a person of worth? You are created in the image and the likeness of God. You are created in the image and the likeness of God. And God's worth is limitless. So because you are created in the image and the likeness of God, you are a person of worth. Don't put yourself down. Let no man put you down. Let no man put his hand behind your blouse or put his hand in, let no woman put his hand in your penis. Let nobody tell you to take a picture of yourself, of a naked self, and send it to him or her. Let nobody tell you that. That is not the behavior of a person of worth. You are a person of worth. There's no market in the world where people are being sold legally. So the richest man in the world cannot put all his money on you to buy you. The richest man in the world is Jeff Bezos, controlling close to $194 billion. His money cannot buy you. That is the truth. Because you are a person of worth. That's number 1. Number 2, you are a reasoning being. You can think. Don't let anybody push you around. Let's go and smoke, you follow them. Let's go and drink, you follow them. Let's escape school, we follow them. Let's go and talk to that girl, you follow them. The question you need to ask is this: am I ready for the consequences of my action? That's why you can think. You are not a goat, you are not a lion. Lion cannot think, lion cannot reason. But you are a reasoning being. That is your difference. So that is why you know that you have what it takes to protect yourself, because you can ask questions. You can't follow the multitude to do evil. The multitude has no conscience. The multitude have no conscience. They are the mob. You don't follow the mob. You stand out. How do you stand out? Because you know you are a thinking being. You can think. You can think. The dog has no shame. The lion has no shame. Animals have no shame. But you are a person that can feel shame. You are a person that can consider what you want to do. It is not after you that you now begin to consider it and say, oh, did I do it well? I shouldn't have done that. You consider before you do. You engage your mind. You engage your brain. Because before you engage your mouth, before you engage your mind, before you engage your hand, rather, before you engage your leg, before you engage anything, you first engage your mind. What is the benefit of this that I'm trying to do? How does it help me to move further? How does it help other people to move further? How does it help my parents to move further? When you think about all of that, it will instruct you a lot on what to do. And the question you must learn to ask A reasoning being always asks one question: why? Why? Let's go and let's kiss that girl. Why? Let's go and toast that girl. Why? Now, am I saying you shouldn't toast a girl? That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that whatever relationship you have must have boundaries. If you are ready to begin to buy feeding bottle now, you are ready to buy pampers now, you are ready to buy baby food now, then you can go ahead with that idea. But if you are not ready to do all of that now, you can have good friendship with the opposite sex. Good, healthy friendship. I'm not saying become a monk. I'm not saying run away from the opposite sex. No, you can have good friends that are female and male. But that relationship will have boundaries. Number 3, which is the last one, you must recognize that you have the power of choice. You have the power of choice. You are a living being that has the power of choice. You can choose. You can choose. You can choose good. You can choose evil. And when it comes to choosing, God cannot stop you from choosing. God gave you free will, so that with that free will, you even have to decide whether you want to choose God or you don't want to choose Him. So if that free will is strong enough for you to either choose God or choose something else, how much more other things that you can choose? Because with that will, some people today, they have refused to choose God. They've chosen other things. And God is not angry. God knows the consequence for Himself when He said He gave you free will. So you are a person of choice. You can make choice. Today, you can choose to make this person your friend. Tomorrow, you can review that relationship and have another friend. You don't have to stay in an abusive relationship. You are with a group of friends who don't like your face. They don't want to talk to you. You are the butt of their job. When you do something, they never commend you. They never treat you right. But you remain there because you don't know whether you are going to get other friends. Life does not work like that. You don't contribute to your source of pain. Anytime you are in pain, your number one commitment is to remove yourself from pain. But I see a lot of young people, they are with friends who don't appreciate them. They are with friends who make them sad. They are with friends who make them depressed. They still come back and say, yes, mommy, they are my friends. I cannot leave them. But you see, you are just breaking a major principle. You are contributing to your own source of pain and source of depression. So, my friends, that is my conversation with you today. You know, when I talk to you about your safety, it's a big conversation. It's a conversation I can have with you for a day. All that I've just tried to tell you now is a tip of the iceberg. And I will round up by suggesting to you young people that when you've been spoken to about online, let me tell you something. Online is good. But as you go online, no, there are 3 kinds of people online. People have made their wealth online. People have met their debt online. People have met their wealth, their opportunities online. People have also met their death, their Waterloo, their destruction online. Online is not all that rosy. Online is a 22 situation. There are 3 kinds of people online, which I must quickly tell you. How do you protect yourself online? There are 3 kinds of people online. Number 1, the number 1 people online are the fun seekers. Those guys just go online. They don't have any mission. They just get data. Once they get data, they begin to take all kinds of picture, Lagos things, Ojuela things, Abuja things, Federal Capital things, leg things, all of those things. They are not celebrities. They are not making money like the Kardashians. They are just wasting their time online. They put one picture. They wait to get a like. They see one like. They say they are not liking it. They are sad. They go and do another dramatic one. They go and climb Third Mainland Bridge or one bridge in Abuja. They climb it, or in New York, and they are trying to climb it. They fall down. People begin to put water on them. You see, they are trying to get likes. The number 2 people online are the fraudsters. Fraudsters. They want to defraud you of your virginity. They want to defraud you of your sexuality. They want to defraud you of your money. They want to do a lot of things with you, not for your own good. They are fraudsters. They want to deceive you. They are 60-year-old, 70-year-old. They'll go and Photoshop the picture of a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 60-year-old, telling you that they are that age. And you too, as a young person, you think they are young like you. They use your language. They do all of those things. Before you know it, you are trapped. You are trapped. You are trapped. So there are fraudsters. They defraud young people. They defraud old people. They defraud in different ways. They are there to defraud you and to deceive you. The third set of people online are the business people, the people that are interested in social good, the people that are interested in social good, people like Ronke Posh, people like Vivian David, people like the young man, Mr. Raymond, people like that who are for social good. They are for social good. They want to do well. Those are the kind of people you should follow. Don't follow fraudsters. They show you music. They will show you music. They will show you human body, bum, breast, vagina, penis. They will show you all of those things. Those people have nothing to offer. And unfortunately, they are the most followed. Those ones, they are under phone seekers. They are the most followed. They don't say they set out to defraud you, but they set out to mess your mind up. Because from messing your mind up, that is where they make their own money from. From messing your own mind up, that's why they collect their own Grammy. From messing your mind up, that's why they collect AMVC award. From messing your mind up, that's why they smile to the bank. From messing your mind up, that's why they make their own, they build their own houses. From messing your mind up, that's why they display their own Range Rover Sport. From messing your mind up, that's how they gain relevance and they gain wealth and they gain followership and they get adverts. But what if you choose not to follow them? What if you choose to go and unfollow all of them that you are following now? And you make a statement. One of them is called Bobrisky. That one, recently he said he was celebrating how many 1 billion followers. I've forgotten the number. What Bobrisky do? They don't even know what to use for her now. Whether for her or for him. Because he says he's a cross-dresser. But when he was going for his father's birthday, he became a man. He dressed like a man. If he's truly that is his life, why did he go to his father's birthday, not like a girl and be wiggling his waist? All of these things are deceptions. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very, very powerful contributions you've shared with us. I'm grateful. If you may, there are a couple of questions I would like that you please just share a bit on. You said, now the question is, how much does understanding the place of God guide a teenager in the right direction?
Well, my life turned around at the age of 27 when I met God. And when I speak about God here, I'm speaking about my personal experience. I met Jesus Christ. I became a Christian. That is the foundation of everything that I do today. But for the fact that I met Christ, I cannot do all the things that I'm doing today because my life was messed up as a child and I suffered a whole lot of setback and I got involved in a lot of vices as a result of that. I became a Christian at the age of 27. I gave my life to Christ. And that was the beginning of transformation. You see, the word, this is how I will put it. The way I will put it is this. When we were made, when we came to this world, God did not, the maker, don't let me use God now, the maker of this world, whosoever made it, please forget about this theory about evolution. If evolution is true, it should have continued. Every day you should have been seeing goat, chimpanzee, all of those things, Big Bang theory, continue to happen. I've never seen a wristwatch. The fact that there's a wristwatch is a sign that there's a manufacturer. The fact that I'm wearing a cap is a sign that there's a manufacturer. So how you get to the point to say that nobody made anything, it does not stand to reason with me. And again, if you say if God exists, why is there so much evil? So it means if you agree that there's evil, it means you agree that there is good. If there is good, it means there is one who is the author of good. So what is the point? So what I would say to young people is this: the maker of this world, did not consult us before making this world. Number two, the maker of us did not consult us before making us. It therefore means that when we get to this world, we cannot do things on our own. We must ask the question from the maker of this world and the maker of us, that what is his plan for our lives? The earlier you find that, the better. The earlier you find out, the better for your life. Because you see, he's able to give you direction. He's able to guide you. He's able to determine what to do. So I do everything I do because I'm a person of faith. I believe strongly in the Judeo-Christian belief system, which comes from the Bible. That is where I come from. That's what I believe. And I highly recommend it to those who care to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Two more questions, sir. Describe what a relationship with boundaries can look like. I mean, a lot of teenagers struggle with understanding boundaries. Could you talk to us a bit about that, sir?
Okay. So every relationship, there must be protocol. There must be protocol. Now, number one, protocol of language. Protocol of language. What do you say? What do you not say? I have a lot of female colleagues. There are things that I can say to them. There are things that I cannot say. There are conversations we can have. There are conversations we cannot have. There are some conversations I can only have with them if they come to me. Now, so when you are talking to a person, the person must respect your dignity as a person, provided you also promote your dignity. Because the way nobody is going to respect you above how you respect yourself. For example, now you can't. For example, now I cannot ask a woman, "Oh, hello, good evening, ma. How are you?" Say, "I'm fine, Mr. Akla. How are you doing?" I say, "Okay, are you in bed?" Am I in bed? Number two, what are you wearing? What's that? That cannot be a conversation. And young people, that's not conversation. What do you want to achieve with that? That am I in bed? Are you a virgin? What are we discussing that you have started asking me that question? So boundaries is important. Boundaries from protocol of language. What can we say? What can we not say? Are we together? There are questions, there are persons that touch on your dignity. I know friends who joke with abuse. Bad boy, mad boy, weary, useless boy. They are playing, but I don't have such friend in my life. I don't have such who will be playing with me with curses, with disrespect. You this guy, you don't mad. I don't want to say you don't mania. Now you, I know now. I mean, I don't appreciate such joke. So protocol of language, then protocol of meeting. Protocol of meeting. I advise young people, when you want to go and greet, don't go alone to go and greet, or don't go when the person wants to go and greet. The opposite sex is the one at home alone. Be careful, because you cannot create an enabling environment for something and you say you don't want it to happen. Sex between young people or even adults happen in the closet where they cannot be easily disturbed. So when you choose to go and to say you are going to your friend's house, a young lady was raped who is still telling her story today because she went to see her friend and her friend was not around, and it was the brother of the friend that was around. And the brother said, come and wait for your friend. And just as she was waiting, the brother of her friend ended up raping her. So there has to be boundary in visit, in meetings. Lastly, there have to be boundaries in interpersonal relationship in terms of when we see. Where can we see? Where can we go? Let's go to this corner. Why must we go there? Boundaries must be clear. But let me tell you something. I cannot sit here and tell you all the boundaries. But one thing is sure. You must be conscious of your personal safety and self-protection. That personal safety and self-protection must be built on the principle of your value system. What is it that I want to do? Am I thinking straight? If you are not sure you are thinking straight, ask your mom, "Mom, this is what I want to do." That is why you do yourself you don't do yourself a lot of good when you don't seek direction and you don't ask questions. You have to ask questions. You can't do things in secret. "Mom, this is what this guy is saying. What could he be saying? I don't get it. What is your interpretation of it?" Your mom has seen more life. Your mom or your dad should know better. They'll be able to tell you, well, if a guy is talking like this or using this kind of language, you have to be careful. Boundaries. When there's a girl who went for a party. When she went for the party, they mixed something for her in a drink. After mixing the thing for her in the drink, she drank and she slept up and she was sexually molested. Not only that, they took the picture while she was being sexually molested and they just threw it out. "Hey, young girl, how are you? How are you doing, my girl? Can you take a picture of yourself? So you take a picture of yourself today. That's Monday. Tuesday, can you take a picture of yourself again, just a bit sexy? You take the picture again, and then it gives you 1 week. Another time, you say, well, I've been looking at the picture you sent to me. You know, you're a dancer, beautiful, wonderful. Can you send me something funny, something a little, so you send that one again. Before you know it, you begin to send and send and send. Before you know it, what you were sending to somebody in private became a public commodity. There's nobody who should ask you to send the picture of penis, of your vagina, of your breasts, of your buttock, of your body, of your naked body, whether you're a boy or you're a girl, to anybody. There's no reason. What are they? Are you acting porn? What do they want to do with it? What kind of love is that? That is telling you, if you love me, you will send it to me. If you love me, you will show me. Show you what? How does that show love? And you know, once I press send, it has left my hand. It means my body has left my hand. It means my private part has left my hand. It means all those things that I hold there. Then I should just go naked because I should stop wearing clothes. From the moment I press send, and it goes, then I have just exposed myself. I have just shown myself naked. So it doesn't matter whether you now wear 10 clothes, 20 clothes. All that thing can be everywhere. There's this young girl who took such picture, sent it to the boyfriend. The boyfriend sent the picture to the old school. The girl left the school, went to another school. The new school she went to, the picture was waiting for her. Long story short, this young girl could not take it anymore and she took her own life. But the truth of the matter is this. We need to be wise. That's why I told you. 3 things. You are a person of what? Number 2, what will a person of what do? Am I a person of what? This thing I want to do. Will a person of what do it? Number 2, you are a reasoning person. What is it I want to do? Can a reasoning person do it? What will be my justification for doing it? When the whole world now sees this thing, what will I defend it? What will I say I'm doing? This thing that I'm doing, can I explain it to my mom, explain it to my dad, explain it to my school, explain it to my principal, explain it to everybody? Can I? They just took light. That's part of the hazards of living in Nigeria. They just took light. So, are you still seeing me?
Yes, we can hear you still.
Okay. Lastly, you have the power of choice. So boundaries are things that are for you to do. You have to review your relationship from time to time and make sure why you must be lively, you must be jovial, you must be kind, you must be nice, you must be good, you must make up your mind you are not going to take nonsense. And if you are not going to take nonsense, it means you are not going to give people nonsense. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. You've shared quite a lot with us. We appreciate you. We do appreciate you. Quickly, there were a couple of people who we would like to get their perspective. Before we move on to the next speaker, a couple of people we would like to get their perspective on some of the conversations we've had so far. May I please ask that Mrs. Fadikbe, she's a partner from Teen Skills UK. May I please ask that she join the conversation and share her perspective around our conversation. Okay. Unmute your mic, ma, please. Hello, Mrs. Fadikbe.
Now unmuted.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, good afternoon.
Hello,
It could be morning for some people. Mrs. Davis, congratulations on this austere August event. I sat here and I'm just taking notes and taking notes and taking notes. Honestly, everything that's been said today is so important. It's so relevant, it's so valid. And I wish there were more people online, or hopefully, because it's gone out to Facebook and YouTube, there will be more people that will take advantage of the wisdom that is being poured forth here this afternoon. We can't say it enough. There has been a paradigm shift. Something has shifted. And everything that you knew to be right, and knew to be social, and you knew to be hip, and you knew to be the in thing, and you knew to be the cool thing, may no longer be the cool thing or the in thing. There has been a paradigm shift. And as Mr. Akinlami said, he talked about, either him, talked about the type of people you meet online. There's no doubt that online education is what's going to move us all forward now. We have been put into this bubble where learning has to carry on and social integration has to carry on. But they're carrying on different strands now. So it may mean that the people that you're meeting with socially might not necessarily be the people that you have been meeting with in the past academically. That's very possible. A lot of you are moving on to new schools where you may have stayed in the same school prior. Now you're moving on to a different school, probably for different reasons. It could be the fact that your school is not able to deliver a blended system, which your parents might prefer, or your school is not able to deliver a technology, a digital program, which you would prefer. And so there's a lot going on within the educational system in Nigeria at the moment. Whatever decisions you make, one thing that I'd like to say is you have the choice to choose how you use your online experience. You can use it, you can feed your eyes with it for good. You can also feed your eyes with it for bad. The choice is now yours. There's a limit to how much your parents can chase you, say you're not going online. You're not having your phone today. You're not having your laptop today. You're not having your desktop today. There's a limit to how much they can do that. The choice is now in your hands. What are you going to do when you're online? I'll tell you what I think you should do. I would limit the time that I spend socially. Because if you think about a pie chart, and think about the different things you need to do online. Maybe before now, all you did was be on the phone with your friends, chatting, having a conversation, taking pictures, being on Snapchat, being, on the platforms that allow you, depending on your age, maybe that's what you did before. But guess what's happened? Now you have to be online for your own good, to develop yourself, to improve yourself, to take examinations. How are you going to organize your time online? How are you going to prioritize your own personal development? We heard yesterday where Ms. Neka said, now you've got to think about the digital experience and how much time you spend. How much time you spend with your education, and more importantly, becoming independent learners, where you're not waiting for the teacher to say, open to textbook, open your English textbook to page 1, chapter this, page 1, open your math textbook to page 1, do your assignment. That's gone. That is all gone. Now you've got to have an element of responsibility towards your studies. But guess what? You also now have the opportunity to achieve far more than you thought you could achieve. There is so much more that you can do now. The world is now your oyster. The world is now your oyster. And that's why you can't joke with online, anything you do online. If you misuse online opportunity, it's going to show up. When you start employment, there'll be a red flag that's going to show up and say, oh, look at what you did 10 years ago. It would show up. So this is your opportunity Because the other flip side is that this is your opportunity to grasp everything you can grasp, to go in, put yourself forward for certificates, online certificates, put yourself forward for skills that you could never thought that you could achieve, you could acquire. There is so much. Even as adults, we are still learning, and we're not learning by the textbooks. So yes, you're going to carry on with some of the textbooks. I've heard some schools that say we're actually ditching all the textbooks because everything is now digital. We've got ebooks, we've got e-workbooks, we've got everything. So the world is in your oyster, the world, you can reach your dreams. Those dreams that you had, they are still available. They are still achievable. What are you going to do with it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a beautiful way to end that. What are you going to do with it? All right. Without wasting much time, I'd like to bring on the next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Atul Tyagi. He is a performance-driven professional who brings a red-level business acumen and record of achievements developed in nearly over a 12-year career. He has a proven track record of managing customer service operations and processes, business analysis, quality audit, and retail operations. Mr. Atul Tyagi is a visionary and a high-performance management executive with expertise in operations. He successfully established 160 schools in India within 4 years and employed over 500 passionate teachers and curbed unemployment in his own way. Would you please, everyone, with a resounding ovation, let us welcome Atul Tyagi to the Teens Platform 2020.
Thank you so much, Richard, for this crisp introduction. I hope you all can hear me. Am I audible, Richard?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. All right. First of all, I would like to congratulate Ms. Vivian and Ziva Bird to Team Nigeria for organizing such a wonderful program online for teen. Because I think, like Taiwo said, that one of the most important things that this age group needs is nothing but the right direction. So I think one of the very good things that came is direction. And then, I was hearing these powerful thoughts. I had a lot of notes that I had made, but I think this whole conversation, whatever I had been thinking and I've been listening, I would like to focus on a lot of other things so that, it is relevant for this young age. So friends, just to begin my small introduction, that I am a son of a farmer, okay, and where my father did really work hard to make all of us study. We studied, and let me tell you, I graduated from one of the top 10 institutes or engineering colleges of the country, okay, and then I started my career working with a lot of companies. I worked for almost 10 to 15 years in corporate sector, and finally my wife started a preschool and I joined her, and then we established almost 160 preschools in less than 4 years. So this is a brief introduction about myself. The topic that I've been given is on entrepreneurship, the challenges and opportunities that are, we have faced right now due to the COVID-19 and, the changes that have happened in the overall circumstances. So the COVID-19 has not only impacted overall health crisis in the globe, but has impacted a lot of, entrepreneurs. There's a lot of downfall in the GDP across the globe. A lot of new startups are struggling to survive. I know so many because I am a part of that startup group. And I know so many people, so many forums where when they were asked, they told that we can only survive for 3 to 6 months, considering the kind of situation that the whole world is going through. There are so many startups where they had to lay off several people. There are so many startups which started, which had to cut down a lot of salaries. They had to cut down a lot of expenses. in order to survive. There were no orders. So there were a lot of change which had happened. And in this scenario, there are a lot of countries, I see a lot of people, somebody from the US, somebody from the UK. So different countries are supporting their entrepreneurs very differently. So the UK and US, because of developing nations, they have very good, I will say, reforms and schemes to support their entrepreneurship. But maybe in our country, India and Nigeria, you may not get that level of support for entrepreneurs during this time in order to survive, and you have to be on your own. So different countries have formed different reforms globally. I'm just giving you a background. And there is a continuous pressure on the startups to survive. They have to reduce their rents, they have to pay the rents and salaries to the people. And so if you are in services which can operate from home, like maybe online shopping, food delivery, video gaming, video conferencing industries where business is currently booming, it's a completely different picture than if you're running a business like travel, textile, hotel, retail, restaurant, and entertainment industries. So these are the so-called impacted industries. People have stopped traveling that they were traveling earlier. People have stopped buying clothes from themselves the way they were buying earlier. They've stopped going to the hotels to stay. They've stopped partying the way they were partying earlier. They have stopped buying a lot of stuff from the retail shops. And entertainment, that you're not going to go to see the movies the way you were seeing. So there are a lot of changes which have happened in businesses. And it has been, the statistics show that the impacted sectors in those entrepreneurs who are working in those impacted sectors have lost their total 50 to 80% of their turnover, which is huge. Imagine that the business suddenly coming down to 20% what it was in just a span of 6 months. Okay, so I'll just give you, because I was contacting and there was, even we are entrepreneurs. So what we did in order to survive and be in business. So I will, there were a lot of other notes which I had made, but because you are on, this whole forum is to help teenagers. So let me tell you what we as a company did in order to survive and went through. So there was a lot of fear and anxiety in the beginning when the lockdown was announced, but we believed in ourselves. We were determined that we will maintain a very positive mindset. So that was the first thing that we decided, that we will not fear, we will not have that kind of anxiety. We will just focus on our people, our management, our people, and our customers. That is the first thing that we decided, that even if there's no order, there's no business, we are going to have the focus on our customers and our employees. The second thing that we decided as a company, that we will utilize this time to innovate and change our business model. Because as somebody rightly said, there is a paradigm shift in the total way of working. The whole world has suddenly changed for what it was, 5 to 6 months back. And, so it is required at this time to reinvent your business model. What was working 6 months back may no longer work. So this is what some entrepreneurs did. You would have seen in your country also, there are a lot of people who were doing some other, quickly adapted to making sanitizers. Everybody was making masks. There were so many people making so many, those kind of new products which were required suddenly. And I'm telling you, they are going to continue, because those needs have emerged due to the changing environment. So as entrepreneur, we decided that we will believe that you have to believe that every crisis will come to an end. It is not that this is going to be forever. Although 6 months back, 5 months back, we had speculated by this time things would be better off, but it did not happen. But we are very positive. All the entrepreneurs are very positive people. It is in their DNA. They fight back. And that is what every one of you who wants to become an entrepreneur should always have, that you should have that willingness to fight back, that okay, I am going to survive, I'm going to do every possible thing, I'm going to innovate in order to move forward. And that's what we also thought. So one important decision 6 months back that we took is that we have to take decisions quickly. So in our preschool, kindergarten, we had never imagined that we will go online and do online classes for small little ones. But 5 months back, when there was a lockdown which was announced, we quickly spoke to our teachers. We quickly, lies up, we quickly learned the new technology. And our teachers also learned new technology. We briefed our parents, we convinced our parents, they were ready to learn new technology, and we quickly went online. So one thing that came out very strongly is that businesses who adapted to the new change, who could change themselves quickly during this pandemic, during the last 6 months, are still into business. And a lot of businesses who did not adapt are going out of business. So we quickly transformed our business. Like teachers were earlier, 6 months before, when schools were open, teachers were coming to the school to teach. Now they will be teaching from home. So there were new technologies like Zoom today we are using. Let me tell you, I never used Zoom 6 months back. I have never, done any kind of this kind of conversation in my life until 6 months. So this entire situation forced us to adapt to the new change, and we are really embracing it. This is going to continue for a longer time. So there are a lot of changes that we made. So one thing that we realized as entrepreneurs, that we have to always keep a very, very strong control over our expenses. Now, this 6 months back, I was one of the business managers or the owners that, okay, I used to spend money like anything. Oh, you, for marketing, please take this much. For doing this stage is much. Now, I have realized that you have to always save for the worst times. We had never thought. And believe me, we could save for the worst time. That's the reason why we are surviving. A lot of companies, when they get more and more funding, they get more and more money, they spend also in the same manner. So you must control your expenses. And please, that, in entrepreneurs, that actually has to be brought in. You have to, it comes from within, it comes from childhood, that whatever spendings that you do it, very, very wisely. And this is the time when you are teenagers, you should really consider, start saving, start investing. Okay, start thinking about what is that I can do today on my own knowledge or on my technology, so that I can learn and tomorrow it may help me. So these are the few things. That cash is the key. So we had to cut a lot of expenses. Now, one thing that was very important was to actually prioritize our work as entrepreneurs. That okay, my people are the most important. I don't want to lose just because there is no business my key people, my most important people. So this was the time that we had to become very, very, I will say, transparent with our people. We had to had a heart-to-heart talk that, see, this is the crisis time, we are going through a tough time. Is there a way we can decide that you work from home because you will be saving your traveling expenses? Can we cut down your salaries to maybe 70% or 80%? What is the way we can, wherein you also run your household expenses and we continue to work at home for a particular time? So it had to be a very heart-to-heart talk, and communication became even more important. So right now, I will say I had never communicated with my customers, with my employees. Although I'm sitting at home, we are working from home. We are communicating even more than ever with our customers and with them. And that is the reason, because it is not just today. Once the business is going to back, I'm sure they are going to remember lifelong that during this pandemic, it was these guys who really helped. And we are helping all out. All out means Our customers are telling, I don't have money. Is there a possibility? Can you give me this service and I pay you after that? Now, if I don't have any expense and it's a service that I can give them now, I am just going ahead and doing that, because I know that once things are fine, even if I don't get that money, they are going to remember us for lifetime, that during this pandemic, these were the people who were helping us. So entrepreneurs are going that extra mile. Earlier, if I was giving X amount of service to my customer, this is the time when I am giving 10x from the same amount of money, because I know that this is the time when they need support the most. So I'm sure once things are back to normal after a few months or maybe 6 months, they are going to remember this. Now, every crisis is an opportunity. Now, let me tell you, don't forget that some of the most disruptive or interesting companies have been created and took off during the time of crisis, like Google, eBay, LinkedIn after 2001, Uber, Airbnb, Instagram, WhatsApp after 2008 financial crisis. This means that there's a great opportunity for leaders. People and entrepreneurs keep looking out for opportunity during these crises. There are so many things. They keep revolving. Their mind is always thinking that what can I do during this time to survive, to go ahead and to do something which actually is long sustainable. So there are a lot of changes which are happening. I will say, I would like to give you, because we keep an eye, because I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm thinking that not one business is something that will help me survive. So please remember, there are a lot of changes which are happening. What was not happening 6 months back? One bigger change that is happening now is that people have restricted traveling. Okay, they are not, especially the business travel which was happening. Now people are more into virtual conferences like the way we are doing today, and this is going to continue. And people are doing business meetings online, and this is going to continue. The physical distancing requirement has pushed us to go online and do all the these kind of dealings. So there will be more focus on virtual meetings and virtual business dealings now. Like today, I'm talking to you from India, from Nigeria. Maybe tomorrow I have a tie-up with Vivian that this is what you are doing great. Let us bring in this facility or this capability into our business. Now, this is what, and I'm not only interacting with people from Nigeria. Let me tell you, our company is interacting with people across the globe. Everybody has realized that this is the time to collaborate and help each other. And we have always, already been pushed 10 years ahead. Let me tell you, 10 years ahead in terms of the globalization or meeting with people. Now, there will be a potential growth in new products due to changing needs. Like you would have already witnessed that there's a boom in people buying sanitizers, masks, and ventilators. Every country needs a lot of ventilators. There's so much of boom which is happening. In fact, there were so many people I saw, they were making masks. So many thousands of people. Every alternate person that I knew was into masks and sanitizer at one point of time. And I'm not sure, but definitely these businesses will come back. Now, more agility is required in business. I'm not sure if you have been observing, but companies like Apple are changing their operations virtually overnight to design, produce, and ship face shields to medical workers. There are so many things, so many changes that companies are making instantly, quickly. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind if you are an entrepreneur, that your business should be ready for a quick change. If you have a manufacturing unit in China and you want to shift the business overnight to India or Nigeria, is there a possibility? Do you have that in contract? Do you have the capability of doing that? Let me tell you, there are a lot of companies who had forecasted this and have done this change. Overnight, businesses have shifted from one country to another country, one factory to the other factory. Now, this is not a small thing. This is not a small thing. It's a big thing that is, really requires very big entrepreneurship skills. Now, digital marketing companies are definitely in action right now and will continue to be in action. This is one of the scope works that will continue to boom. Digital marketing is going to boom. Now, we had a lot of people talking about online education. Now, this has got a drastic push. Earlier, I'm right now in India. You are in Nigeria. There are limited seats in Oxford or Harvard. Let me tell you, there are a lot of courses that they've already started. And maybe I can study from the comfort of my home on my laptop and do a course from Harvard. Now, earlier, they had never thought of it. There were courses that were offered, but right now this push has given them further push. Maybe what they would have done 10, 20 years from now will be done now. So the formal way or the traditional way of learning also will remain. You will continue to go to your colleges, but distance learning, which is online learning, is definitely going to remain and boom big time. Online collaborative tools like Zoom and StreamYard, video streaming Zoom, there are all these things which will continue to get more and more business. They have become 10 times to 100 times in the last 6 months. Their turnover has grown so high. E-commerce. Now, I'm not sure what percentage of people really use e-commerce or Amazon or delivery system in Nigeria, in our country. But if you really think that still, because of high population of our country, very less percentage of people were using these facilities because they were maybe satisfied with the traditional way. But now, due to social distancing norms and to save yourself, they all have been pushed to choosing deliveries through online. So online e-commerce companies are going to remain. They will continue to boom. All these things will keep happening. Now, one thing that I feel is agriculture and food. We realized this time the importance of local produce. Anything which is imported from another country is no longer very important. I want fresh vegetables to survive, to eat. I want fresh rice, which can only be produced by my local farmer, maybe in a neighboring city. So this is very important. They will never be out of business. And one thing is for sure, that everything related to fashion, there are so many people, so many companies like Chanel and so many companies. I have so many friends who are working for retail companies who were these so-called top fashion brands are completely going to go out of business. They're already out of business because that is not a need based. It is something which you only do when you have surplus money. That's when. But overnight, I am seeing in my country that there's a boom in buying health products. You are drinking those healthy drinks. You are buying shorts. You're buying pajamas to be at home because you're spending more time. You are doing things on home entertainment. Let me tell you, YouTube. So many people are making those videos in YouTube, and Netflix. So home entertainment is something that, okay, I am sitting at my comfort of my home and I can watch whatever I want. And I don't have to see what my parents are seeing or what my parents I have to see. I have my personal mobile or my personal laptop. That is my entertainment. I no longer may wish to go out. So these things are going to continue to boom. Now, a very, very important point, which I would like to tell you on entrepreneurship, the low-cost product sourcing model, where in one country, I will not name them, has too much dependency on other countries or the world manufacture will be ended. Okay, globalization also may reduce drastically. We had too many dependencies on another country. Okay, this country will produce cheap products and send me. But now every country, like I'll tell you what is going on in our country, our top country politicians or president or prime minister, they want everything to be produced in our country. We want to be self-reliant, self-dependent, which is going to give an enormous opportunity of entrepreneurship in your own country. So you can, this is the right time to start up and think of starting something which was being produced in other countries. And there are so many changes which will happen. This crisis will change the relationship between a lot of countries and states, presenting new challenges, new stakes, new dangers, new threats, health-wise and climate-wise. The governments have already started focusing on self-reliance, as I already told, and independence, especially on medical supplies. We need ventilators, like so many of them. I wish we had this forecast, or so many countries still taking ventilators from other countries, in order to survive. Now, this all is going to push the governments to become self-reliant, and this will in turn create more opportunities for our entrepreneurs. Some new business models will need to be invented, and it will be the entrepreneurs who will implement this new world. So all of you, whoever are watching and whoever wants to become an entrepreneur, you have a very right opportunity. That start thinking of localization, start thinking of making your own products for your own country. Now, there are some learnings and parents during this pandemic which I wanted to share. This is not related to pandemic, to entrepreneurship, but I thought let me take this opportunity to share my feelings, that because I'm talking to teenagers, that it's always good to have too many friends, but no one can replace your parents and family. This is what I have learned during this pandemic, that there were so many friends around, but my family is with me. I am for them, they are for me. You may have several friends. So please embrace and please love your parents. They are going to stand by you. Even if you commit a mistake, they are going to be with you. That's what I feel. Now, another thing that I realized during this time, when I'm seeing my classmates who were so brilliant and who were, say, top three, I was let me tell you, in the bottom 20 percentile of my class when I was in school in your age. But I believe that your attitude is more important than your aptitude. We all are running for marks and for higher grades, let me tell you. But this pandemic, has proven that a person with a positive attitude will survive and thrive and will come out of this crisis much more stronger. I believe this very, very much. Flexibility, I think, very, very important. Please adapt to the new change. Don't be rigid that if I have been doing this for several years the way I had been doing earlier, like so many parents I know, that they did not want to change. They did not embrace the online learning. Their children are still sitting at home learning nothing for last 6 months. Embrace the change. Whereas a lot of parents, they learned new technology and they have made their children technology savvy at such a young age. So embrace the change. Be ready to change any moment. Now, one more thing that I have realized, that you can do away with movie stars. They are not important, let me tell you. But health and medical services are lifelines. Doctors are the real heroes of this world. So healthcare and medical services remain to be, in my mind, the top things, even better than any hero or any uh, film star. Now, one thing, multi-talented people will never be out of job. Now you have an opportunity. That lady, previously I just missed her name, is telling that this is a time to choose online what needs to be done. This is an opportunity where in your age, you are teenager, you have got this opportunity, which we never got, to learn so many things from across the world. So many courses are being offered at a very, very low price. Utilize this time. Choose the best ones. Choose the best ones. Choose your time. This, I think, gentleman spoke and told that, okay, There are so many people who spend so much of time on social networking, liking other people's Facebook comments. I think that's a complete wastage of time. Please devote your time in your learning. Make yourself stronger from within. Make yourself stronger. I believe multi-talented people will never be out of job or business. You can't be just only a C++ Java developer and become a big person. You need to have multi-skills. There are so many of us who are talking here so well and maybe in different professions.
Of course.
Now, food product and agriculture is going to be very important. Now, my last thing is that I have really benefited in this lockdown, which I had never utilized, that reading newspaper and books will give you a lot of exposure. So please spend time in reading, gathering knowledge rather than focusing. If you focus on this time, on yourself, building your strength, learning and gaining more knowledge, there's no pandemic that can let you down. There's no, let this pandemic come again and again, and you will come out with shining colors. Thank you so much. And this is what I wanted to tell to my audience today. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Richard, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
If you have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free. I'm there.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What we're going to do is we're going to put together all of our questions so that by the end of the session, we can all ask them together. All right. So we're going to quickly bring up our next speaker. May I ask that we all please mute our mics? I'm going to bring up our next speaker. I like to refer to her as the celebrity school leader. Yes, her name is her name is Mrs. Ronke Posh Adeniyi. She is a certified and experienced Montessori directress. She received her training from the Modern Montessori Institute in London and holds a postgraduate diploma in education. She owns the best preschool and primary school in Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria, called Le Posh School. Ronke Posh is the founder of the Helps at Homes initiative, which focuses on parenting in the 21st century and the proper recruitment of domestic workers in homes in order to prevent risk to families. She is also a parenting practitioner, a certified family life therapist, and practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, and author of the best-selling book for children titled Right Kid 101, and the newly released book 101 Tips to Curb the Beating and the Shouting. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding ovation, let us make welcome Ronke Posh Adeniyi to the Teens Platform 2020.
We clap for ourselves these days online.
Yes.
Everybody's been muted.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you, Vivian, for having me here. Thank you for the honor. It's been a long day. This is my third webinar. I have one more. So I can just imagine how you feel. So can we just roll our shoulders and just, move our necks around? And, I love teaching preschoolers. So it's always nice to just get the blood flowing. You can stand up if you want to, kick your feet, just feel good. I'm going to wrap this up in exactly 15 minutes so that that's how long I've been given. And I'm going to share my screen immediately if I am able to do so. Okay, here's it. So I've got it, so share.
Okay, all right.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Good. So my intro remains pretty much the same. That's my profile. The only thing that has been added is that I'm now a YouTuber. So when Mr. Atul was talking, I was like, okay, yes, I'm one of the people that started another journey of entrepreneurship on YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel, which is Ronke Posh, and I share material for teens, for parents, and for educators. So you can follow me on that, Ronke Posh. That's the only addition to it. So I've been invited to talk about education, the paradigm shifts in education, and I'll be focusing on the children that we're trying to ensure that teens are not only local citizens, but they're also global citizens. At this time, we know that a number of schools especially in a country like Nigeria, most of our children are not in school and they weren't engaging online either. So that sets us back even further behind on the global scale. So what do you do as a teen in a time of crisis? We'll be all talking about parents as well and school educators, but the focus today, teens. So what are the expectations at this time? Things are moving along rapidly, moving at the speed of light. Technology is moving along swiftly. You learn how to use one app, even your phones. You know, you update it every now and again because there's always another new update. So things are moving fast. You have to be a lifelong learner, and you have to also learn to learn and learn to learn fast because it's very important. You have to be creative. You can't wait for others. You have to be creative in the solutions that you bring. You have to see yourself as a solution provider. As a teen and even adults, we have to stop being consumers. You know, you find that you're consuming content online, you are on blogs, you are on YouTube, you are everywhere, consuming, different apps, Instagram, everywhere, TikTok, you're consuming. What are you creating? Now, you find a lot of teens, for example, on TikTok, they love it. But what are they creating? Are they creating nonsense? Are you creating anything that is valuable? Are you creating things that your children and grandchildren will be proud of? Are your digital footprints something that you will be proud of in the coming few years, in the next few years? And we must understand in these days that your CV is not what you put on paper anymore. Your CV and the activities that you carry out online. When I employ, for example, at La Poche, after we've looked at your CV, interviewed you, we will check out your social media handles and see what it is that you are doing there. So your digital footprint is a significant part of your life. So you must understand that whatever activities you're carrying out online, you must take it very seriously. Now we are preparing you as a teen for a future that is unknown. Many of you might have decided on a role or a career path, but there are jobs that will come that are unknown. There are things that we are doing today. Say, for instance, even talking here via Zoom. I get jobs via Zoom. I never knew that I'll be getting to speak at events via Zoom. So that's new. It's new normal. It's abnormal. So it's what we're doing now. So what else is going to happen in the next few years? You are in a world where things are very unknown. As a result, you need to be flexible because the most flexible controls the system. The most flexible person controls the system. You cannot be rigid in any choice that you make. You cannot be rigid in any choice that you make. You need to be flexible. Even with your careers, you can shortlist and say, okay, this is what I think I'm going to do. But guess what? You might change your mind. But if you are someone that keeps on building their CV and someone that keeps on building their skills, you will survive irrespective. So you need to ensure that your portfolio is very, very robust. Now, on the next slide. So I've talked about flexibility. You have to have a global mindset. You cannot assume that it's only what is happening in your country that is relevant, that is important. There are things that are being done in other countries, and you must make sure that whatever you do is at an international standard. Measure yourself as an international standard. Even if you are going to remain in your own country, let people know you worldwide. Let your light so shine before men that men will see you and glorify your Father in heaven. That's what it says. So you must have a right attitude. Don't complain about everything. For you to be on Zoom to listen to this, you are among the 1% that are extremely blessed in the world, just because you have the smartphone or device to check this. So you must have an attitude of gratitude and know that no matter how bad it is, it's not that bad, just by virtue of you having a smartphone. Now, you must ensure that that positive mindset. So what is that attitude? The attitude is that little things that makes a whole lot of difference. It's the very fabric that makes up who you are. And what is important and very basic at this time are the 21st century skills that you need as a teen, as an educator, as an adult. There are quite a number of C's, but the 4 critical ones, you must be able to communicate, because no matter what it is that you learn, if you cannot tell people about it, whether it's written, whether it's orally, you must be able to communicate, because communication is very, very important. So you must learn the art of communication. There's so many videos on YouTube teaching people about how to communicate. It's very, very important, because even to get opportunities around the world, you still must be able to communicate in one capacity or the other. Collaboration is very, very important, doing things with other people. So you don't just assume that it's just you. Yes, start with yourself, but then work with other people. Partner with other people, see what it is that you can do. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, or is it far, you go alone, and then if you want to go a lot further, you go with other people. So we've talked about communication, collaboration. Creativity is very, very important. You have to be creative at this time. You have to be able to innovate. And in doing that, you have to find time to be alone. Now, a lot of people don't like being alone because they don't like themselves. They don't like their own voices. They don't like the sounds in their head. But you need to take time out and be alone so that you can hear from God if you believe in God. Also, you can hear from nature or the force or whatever it is you want to believe in. But you must find time alone. Forget about the neighbor's generator and the noise out there, because it's in the time when you are quiet that the ideas will come to you. And that is when you'll be able to create and be innovative with the things that you do. So find time to be creative. Also, critical thinking. Critical thinking is a very, very strong one, because a lot of the issues that people have today, even adults, even in their marriages, in their careers, if you spend time thinking critically, you would find solutions. Solutions come when people think. The people you go to have to think to give you solutions. Sometimes you can solve your own problem if you're able to think critically. So those 4 C's are extremely important at this time. Now, there are changes. And you must understand that there are teams that are making money online now. Teams that are making thousands of pounds and dollars, teams that are making millions, they exist out there. Now, I'm not saying be money focused or whatever the case may be, but I need you to know that there's a lot inside of you. There's a lot that you can do at this time. My daughter was coding during she was coding prior to the COVID, but she was doing 2 hours of coding during this time and has built an app. Now, she's written a book. It's going to be released very soon. It's time out, time away. That book is going to be sold and people are going to buy it, and it's monetization. At some point, she still dances and has a studio and teaches little children little steps how to dance and makes money from that as well. She has sold t-shirts and all sorts of things around her brand and makes money that way. There are young YouTubers as well that are doing many things online and they are monetizing. It is a different kind of world, and parents too must be flexible enough to understand that the children will be doing unusual careers that might rub you up the wrong way. You might not be comfortable with what they're going to do, but you must give them room for expression and guidance, as we've heard at the top of the meeting. So there's a lot of disruption going on. Things are not going to be the same. A lot of things are just going to be different, and it will continue to be different going forward. So we must embrace change. We must know that the only constants, God and change. Flexible enough to learn. We cannot not learn except we do not want to learn. We cannot not learn except we don't want to learn. The way you learn can be anywhere. You're learning by a Zoom here. Some strange lady is talking to you. It's learning. You learn on the move. You learn on a daily basis. You must set yourself up for learning, even if it's downloading apps like Duolingo, learning different languages. Make sure that every single day there's something new that you have learned, because your total self is the sum of the little things that you do. So you must ensure that your study location is flexible. You're on the move. You have your earphones in your ears. You're not just listening to pop music and all that. You are ensuring that you are learning something every single day. The courses, I looked, UCAS in the UK, all sorts of courses have come up. There's so many, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of courses now. And for you to just choose 20 or know about 20 and assume that that's all there is to do, you need to go online and check and research 21st century jobs, 22nd century jobs. Go and look for what is happening in the future. Follow handles that are futuristic. There's some people that are futurists, and they talk about things that are going to happen in the future. They're not God, but they just make reasonable predictions, and you can follow people like that. I follow people like that just to change my mindset and know that, okay, it's not only all about education and parenting that I talk about. I leverage on the knowledge on expertise of other people. At the moment, Google announced that they're going to be doing a 4-month diploma, and that diploma will be enough to get you a job. That's a whole dynamic. It's not a degree, because they believe that people are doing 4-year degrees and using a lifetime to pay loans. So why not do a certification in 4 months and get a proper job at Google? Now, if you tell the typical Nigerian parent that, they will probably want to pass out because they believe so much in the degree. If your child tells you that they want to dance, they don't want to do the degree, they want to go to Juilliard instead, you want to pass out because you want them to have a degree. But think about it. People like me, I have a degree, I have an MBA, I worked for 10 years in banking in the UK, and here I am today. I teach adults, I teach children. That's what I do. So imagine all the time spent. I would have not done my BSc biochemistry, MBA. I would just have done straight to the Montessori, straight to the PGDE, and just have done education right from start. So nothing is set in stone. We must be flexible. Change comes with, fear comes with change. It's normal, but we must be able to embrace it. And teens, don't fight your parents when they don't understand. They're coming from a different paradigm. You carry them along with maturity. You show them videos. Let them speak to coaches like myself. Let them know, because it's not a fight. When you don't war with your parents, because they are from a generation that believe in a lot of the things that they don't believe in, a lot of things that are happening today. They don't mind other people's children doing it. They will say, oh, other people's children, don't mind them. They don't have degrees, but they want you to have a degree. Whilst the degree is good, don't get me wrong, especially for the Nigerian child, because our own demands are different. Our own battles are different. You don't have the privileges. Your passport doesn't get you into many countries like the American passport will do. So I advocate that you finish your degree. However, I need people to know that there are different types of jobs that exist and will happen all around the world. So tech, artificial intelligence, data science, all sorts of things, and machine learning, you need to embrace it. You need to be able to implement it. You need to understand it. You need to grow with technology as time is going. Some of the children are even confusing parents with ordinary. Some parents, once their WhatsApp is not working and it says updates, they'll be calling their children. How is it? Anyway, it's not about parents today. It's about the teens. But we must embrace technology. A lot is happening. And even if you want to do a role like emotional intelligence, where it's not necessarily tech, you still need to leverage on tech to amplify what it is that you're doing. So EI is important, artificial intelligence is important, emotional intelligence is important, but the love quotient is also very, very, very important. So we might not all be tech savvy. I'm not someone that does tech, but I'm very vast with tech. I create my own videos. I edit my own videos. I do a lot of stuff that has to do with, I teach with technology. There's so many things I can do with tech, but my core is parenting and education. However, to amplify it, I need to use technology to do that. So we must not run away from technology. We have to embrace technology. On my YouTube channel, I have videos that I've shared about how to create simple videos, how to create, because I know a lot of teens and teachers struggled at this time when we're going online because of video lesson creation. And even when you build your CV, for example, you can create a one-page CV, start building a CV. There are some websites like wix.com, wix.com, where you can upload your picture on there. You can put videos and introduce yourself on there and let people begin to know who you are. You begin to build your brand and your CV at this time. What are you doing? So, for example, my daughter did, if it wasn't for the COVID, she was supposed to travel to the UK to do some project with the Duke of Edinburgh. And that project, for example, you're supposed to track all the activities that she's been doing. Now, that is building her CV. When she was filling it last night, there were so many things. She was like, Mom, I have done so many things. I don't even know which one to put in there. That is how it should be. You should have so much content. People should be looking for you because you can play the violin, you can play the piano, you can play the drums, you can beat the drums, you can speak publicly, you're very good at coding, you're very good at, even if it's gardening, whatever it is that you're good at, make sure that you're doing it and you're building your CV, have somewhere that you're writing it. So if you say January to March, I learned this, put it down, start tracking it because you're going to forget it. So track it and save it so that when people ask you, when those opportunities come, because opportunity comes with preparation, you will be so prepared, you would have the answers at your fingertips. And Google is your friend these days. You have Google Docs. All you have to do is save everything on your Google Docs, and anywhere you are, as long as you have internet access, you bring it all out. So please make sure that you build your CV as you go along, because the changes are going to happen so rapidly and you don't know when you're going to find the opportunity. So make sure that you have a lot of merit behind you. There's going to be trial and error. I'm not going to guarantee you that you're not going to fail, but with failing, you fail forward. It doesn't matter. With your career, you might make a mistake, but you learn from the mistakes. I might have done a BSc biochemistry and I'm not necessarily using it today, but I met people and I enjoyed the experience when I was in university. I might have worked 10 years in banking and I'm not using it today. However, I learned project management and I learned to do accounting. And I do it so well that my accountant has little or nothing to do when we have to do our tax returns. So in that case, I'm saving myself a lot of money because no knowledge is lost. So don't ever think that making a mistake is a huge, you learn from your mistakes. So don't be rigid, explore. Check other sites, check other places, speak to other people. If you want to build a career, for example, my daughter wanted to do software engineer, she wanted to be a software developer. And I don't know much about software development. So what did I do? I went on my profile, I said, who are the software developers here? I want to speak to you. I got about 5 or 6 of them on my timeline. And I made sure that she had a one-to-one Zoom meeting with them. And by the time she was done, she said, I don't want to be a software developer anymore. So make sure that your children are speaking to the right people. Don't just say, oh, you have to do that. Oh, it's fine. Let them speak to the right people. In doing that, she also went to their offices and spent some time there to see what they were doing. Let them experience it. Let them do teaching practice. If Nigerians don't like to do teaching practice, they like to give pocket money. Let your children work. At the end of the day, we've now come to realize that we don't want to be software developers. We actually want to be software engineers, which apparently are 2 separate things, as little as just 1 word apart. So explore and get experience at this time. Explore, go and cook somewhere, go and work in somebody's restaurants, go and work in anywhere, just find somewhere, put yourself there. I read an article by someone renowned on LinkedIn yesterday. I cannot remember his name right now, but he spoke about his child working at McDonald's and said he had a lot of respect for people who have worked at McDonald's, that he never had much respect until his own child started working at McDonald's, which is a fast food restaurant. And the reason why he now has a lot of respect was that his child comes home telling him how customers swear at them every day, how they are nasty, how they have to work under pressure, how they have to follow a rigid structure to make sure that all their customers are happy. And at the same time, they do get some customers that are happy and also commend them for the work they are doing. In doing all that, that child has learned so many life skills, how to handle customers, how not to explode under pressure, and all sorts of things just by working in a fast food restaurant, which many of you might look down on. But you have those life skills that will serve you for the rest of your life, even when you have your own businesses or you're working in an environment. So, extracurricular activities, if you're a younger teen, continue extracurricular activities. Make sure that you find something that you're doing. Make sure that you master a skill, that you're so good at something, whatever it is. Make sure that your voice is heard. Don't be the shy one. Who shy help? It's not helping anybody. So make sure that that shyness, if you have to speak to your parent, that you need a coach that will help you come out of your shell, you need to speak up. You need to volunteer at places. You can even start up your own charity as a team, because it's even something that people are even looking for. You can set up a charity to help children that don't have shoes, to help children that don't have socks, to help children that don't have notebooks, or just go and volunteer and support them. When they're sharing something, go there and share with them and just be part of it. Have a portfolio, build your portfolio. Make sure that it's electronic and you can save it somewhere in the cloud that you don't lose it. Make sure that you have a good digital footprint. you are not a cyber bully and you don't engage in cyber bullying, because those things will come for you later in the future. People have said things many years ago when it was time for them to make it big. That was the time when it came for them. So make sure that you build your brand. You're not too small to build your brand. If you go on YouTube and check Dade Posh, you'll find my daughter here. There she is building her own brand even at 14. She's doing that. So you use what you have, don't complain. I know we don't have the best environment. Use what you have, research, seek opportunities. There's a site called Opportunities Desk where they do scholarships, where they do all sorts of things there. Seek for it. United World College, go there. They might get a sponsorship. You might find yourself in the Netherlands. Seek opportunities. Save your parents all the dollars and all the pounds to give you the training. So paradigm shift in education. Let's move. My slide doesn't want to move. Okay, now it is moved. Okay. So you're going to need support from your families. So speak to them, speak up, let them know what your thoughts are. You're going to continue to grow. You're going to need to be in a conducive environment. However, if you're not currently in the most conducive environment, please don't complain. It is what it is. There's no point crying over spilt milk. Just make the most of it. And always remember that there are people that are worse off when it comes to support and development and all those sort of things. And the value you get now is more than money, much more than money. If the skills you build now is not the time to, if you get money now, it's a bonus, but now is not the money time. Now is the skill acquisition time. Now is the time to carve your career. Now is the time to start making impact as a team. The name you make now will last forever. Now is the time to be a person of influence. Now is the time to have expression. You're not too young, even as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, to be expressing yourself, to articulate yourself properly. So you need to be mindful, have a nice positive mindset, have a love quotient, mental and emotional well-being. Very, very critical at this time. So I'm done, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions, and I did it in under 15 minutes, so I deserve a round of applause. Well done. Thank you. So any questions? I will be right here. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to stop my screen.
Thank you.
I hope it will let me stop it. Stop my video. Good.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Awesome. You did really well, and you've shared, even personally, it has reactivated something that has been in the process within myself, and thank you so much. If we would preferably want to take all the questions at the end so that we can quickly run through all that we have. Are you?
No problem.
Thank you so much. So we're going to bring up our next speaker. He will be speaking on the paradigm shift in politics. All right. I'd like to please introduce to you all Pastor Israel Davids. Yes. Okay, I think his mic is mute. So are you there? Okay. I'll unmute his mic. Okay, I think we're having some internet connection issues. Just a moment. Okay, so okay. All right, I think we're going to wait for him to until he gets back. Okay, here he is. Hello, sir, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, we lost him again. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry about that. Okay, so Mrs. Vivian, I would.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. So
Hi, Richard.
Hi, hello. So right now I would like to I would like.
Hello, Richard.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, great. Okay, so from the conversations we've had so far, and for those of us who are not aware, I think I should probably reintroduce our chief host, all right, while we wait on Pastor Israel David, so that she can share with us her own insights on some of the conversations we are having here today. But before she does, I'd like to tell you a bit about her and who she is, what she does, all right. So yes, Mrs. Vivian Davids is an experienced early years professional, educator, and a trainer with over 20 years of working experience with children, teenagers, and families. Her passion is tagged around children, leadership, community outreach, program development, public speaking, teaching, infant and toddler care and development. She is a certified early years professional, having fulfilled every requirement of the United Kingdom Children Workforce Development Council. She has a degree in psychology from the prestigious University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and a master's degree in applied child psychology and early childhood education from Kingston University, UK. Vivian Davids has obtained certified trainings in early years childhood education, teenager outreach, leadership and management, family support, emotional intelligence, and safeguarding. She is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and also a registered member of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please make welcome again the chief host of the Teens Platform 2020, Vivian Davids. Please, Mark.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, Richard. I appreciate you. Yeah. I want to thank everyone.
When you're supposed to join, this is part of the.
I must say, I have been listening with rapt attention. All our speakers are outstanding. I'm delighted that we chose the kind of speakers that we had this year. I must say, I personally, not just the teenagers, but I have learned a lot. And I must say that the good thing is this, and I want you all to take cognizance of this. It's not about what you hear. It is what you do with what you hear. It's the actions you begin to take with the things that you hear today. Every year, the Ziva Better Teen come up with a teens platform. And I must say that this year we're a bit skeptical. We're going to hold it or we're not going to hold it. But I'm glad we made the decision to go ahead and do it. Like Melody said yesterday, she said, the world has moved on, irrespective of the change that we are talking about today. You know, sometimes change can come to you like a wide wind. And sometimes it could just be subtle and it comes on you. But it's what is important is the actions you begin to take with the change that comes to you. And I'm glad that we took the action to hold the Teens platform for this year because we have really learned a lot from our teenagers. And our speakers who spoke today, I listened and I can't but thank all our speakers. I will start with, I call her Queen Posh. Queen Posh did outstandingly well, and I took a lot for what she said. I'm glad you mentioned it, Richard, that she sort of sparked something in you that you have always wanted. She said, it's like, I have to take this action. And that is what she did today with her presentation. I have learned a lot from her. And we're taking that on board. And I'm sure the teenagers too are taking all you've said. And I like the way you shared what your teen child is doing. She's a teenager. And I think that should be also a challenge to all teenagers in the room today. She's a teenager and she's doing so well. She's been able to build her brand and she is still building her brand. I think we should take that up too. I would like to thank Barrister Akilami. He was with us last year at the Teens Platform 2019. Last year, we spoke at the perspective of teenagers to leadership and the presidency. Today, we are talking at the paradigm shift in education and how we can be positioned in technology, how we can be positioned in our personal safety, how we can be positioned in politics, how we can look into entrepreneurship and take our stand. Take it now, begin now. And I'm glad we brought in Atul Tiagi to talk about entrepreneurship because it's not too early for you to begin. You listened to some of our teenagers yesterday who have already started building their brands. Listening to Ron Quimposh today, who also spoke about Lydia and what she's doing, what her daughter is doing, how she has sold several things, using her brand. We listened to Dawn yesterday, a teenager who hosted a summer camp for preteens. She's just 17, and she's able to host a summer camp for preteens, for girls who are, in their preteens, and what she was sharing her experiences, what she's gone through, and how they can be well positioned for what lies ahead as they attain the teenage age. That is outstanding work, outstanding jobs that teenagers are doing. And I think we should begin to take actions. And the actions is what we inform, what we could look back to tomorrow. I'll be glad for. Barrister Tawa Kilami, we want to really thank him. He was here with us last year. And he said something today. He said, what are you writing? What are you leaving at your digital space? What will you leave behind? Whatever happens, once you've done it, once you sent that picture, it is out there. You can't please anybody. You have to think about yourself and think about what you're going to do in life. Once you click send to that picture, you cannot retrieve it. It's going to be in hands of hundreds of people, if not thousands, if not millions of people. So what do you want them to read about you? What do you want them to know about you? What do you want you to be remembered for? And you begin now to build that brand. So I'm glad, for all our speakers. I want to thank NECA, who represented Sally. Unfortunately, Sally had an incident yesterday, and it's a sad one in her family. She couldn't join us, but I'm glad she brought in NECA, and NECA spoke very well. NECA today is also in a graduation. You can see what this digital space can do and what we can do with technology. She is right there in a graduation ceremony, and she had to breeze in to join us to speak to us, and she had to leave too. We would like to thank, the Team Skills Academy, an offshoot of of the British Outdoor Education. I see a lot of comments from the students from Team Skills, and I want to appreciate the co-director. I call her Auntie Shade Fadikwe, who is here, and I want to thank you for speaking to us today and sharing your perspectives too. I'd like to appreciate all the teenagers who spoke yesterday. We had Melody Folua Olaloye, and sharing her perspective. We had David Odumeru sharing his perspective. We had Robbie Peter Abu sharing his perspective. We had Don Abiakalam yesterday. We had Nicholas Mayo all the way from Botswana too, sharing their perspectives. And yesterday, I must say, if you are live with me yesterday, you believe that these teenagers spoke really well, their experiences over this lockdown and their stories. Actually, listening to their stories, you need to go back and watch that video if you haven't watched it. If you weren't live yesterday, try and watch those videos. So here, I must say, what will you do with all that you've had today? Those actions you begin to take, and I must say, start now. Don't procrastinate. The world has moved on. When Atu was talking, he said some parents refuse to, jump into this. I was speaking to Queen Posh last week, and she said most parents are not willing, to even put their children into school. But this is time for you to take hold, take advantage, be responsible for your own learning, for your own life, because as it is now, you need to take that responsibility. And in taking that responsibility, begin to make informed decisions. Make your decisions based on what you've heard the speakers say today, because they've made a standing post that you have to take it and begin to take actions. those actions you take is actually what counts for you. So I wish you all the best. I would thank all of you for coming on board to this year's edition of the Teens platform. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. You can watch all that have happened over this period. Go to our page, follow our page, like our page, Ziva Better Team. You will also be able to watch the video. Right now, we are streaming live, so you could also go back to it and watch it again, listen again, take your notes, write down, and begin to put actions to the decisions you have made today. Put actions to the decisions you have made today. That is what I will leave you with. Put actions to whatever you have heard today. Those things have started popping into your mind that you want to do. Have a listen to the speakers. Those things you have decided to do, just put them down, not just putting them down, but take the actions to do it. And you listen to Barrister Tawa Akinami, ensure that you keep yourself safe. Even as we've all jumped online, keep yourself safe. Mind who you accept as a friend. He told us about the 3 kinds of people you find online. I think you should choose those who will make a positive impact to your life and follow them. It's not everybody that you see. Some are fun seekers, like he said. So if you go for the fun seekers, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And some are trying to, we're trying to take out from you. You need to follow the right people. And as you follow the right people, make your decisions, stand by your decisions. And I wish you the very, very, very best, in life. So well done. Continue. I would like to use the opportunity, if I'll be allowed back by Richard, to thank those who have been working behind the scene. I want to thank Richard, Kiduna. I'd like to thank Sam, Erebi, Jared. You all have been working well behind the scene to ensure that this year's Teens platform goes well. Thank you. Kudos to all of you and to all the speakers. We really appreciate all of you. So well done. Thank you once more and have a beautiful evening. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you from all of us from the Teens platform. We are grateful.
Thank you.
Grateful. Thank you. And to Mr. Atul, thank you. Celebrity school leader, thank you. Mr. Barrister Taiwo, thank you. I'm so grateful to all of you for sharing the wisdom you all have with us. Thank you. All right, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Oh, Atul. Hello, Richard.
Yes.
Oh, we have our pastor in. We have Pastor Israel Davis back in. I think we should let him speak to the teenagers. Who knows who want to go into politics tomorrow? We can't let that slide. We can't let that slide. We need to hear him.
Okay. All right. Of
Hello,
course.
Sir, are you in? Hello.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I'm here.
I'm glad to have you. Welcome.
Wow. So sorry. I think something about my network here. So
Yes,
I went off just briefly, just about the time I was being called in. The network went off. All right. So apologies, everyone. I've been following, even though I've been busy also. So thank you very much. Our great teenagers. Awesome. It was great yesterday. I took a lot of notes. Yeah. And you guys are great guys. You can, at least seems very inspired what came out from all of you. And for the speakers also, want to thank every one of you. So much has been said. So I know the conference or the Teens platform is in fact ended. Just thank you for giving me these few minutes. What I want to say, I'll be very quick, is this. Thank God for technology. Thank God for education. Thank God for personal safety and all of that, and progress, personal progress, personal success and all of that. But you see, we live in a society and we live in a world that is governed by laws. We have leaders, we have politicians now that are making the rules. Now, let me ask this question to our teenagers. Who locked us down? Who locked us down? They are not teachers, not businessmen, not the tech guys, and not not businessmen and all that. The politicians did, and of course I agree for good reasons they did. But you see, at the end of the day, like John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership.
Absolutely.
Whether you like it or not, some people don't agree why we are locked down. Some agree, but the thing at the end of it, the politicians did. Over here in Nigeria, the politicians did. You get what I'm saying? So I want to tell the teenagers, as you get very passionate about your personal success, you want to impact the world, you want to change the world, please get involved in politics. Get involved in politics. Everything. Now, let me say this. Policies rule or organize a community, a country. Policies do that. But until we get politics right, we can't get the right policies.
Very true.
So if you're not careful, few years time, all the struggles, all the hard work will just be destroyed by one reckless decision, by one reckless leader. So you don't want to wait and see all your hard work just throw down the drain by some policies, by some group of people who don't understand paradigm shift. You understand what I'm saying? So please, our great teenagers, I want you to get involved. Somebody said, until you are 18. I don't know, for some countries, until you are 18 or so, you are not eligible to vote. But that does not hinder a teenager from active participation in politics. You can educate the adults. You can go online and study about a candidate. Get involved in your local politics. Read and publish, give informed information, pieces of information to those who are going to vote. By all means, use all your skills. Make sure the right people are elected. Make sure they are elected, because the next, the future lies on that, if you get what I mean. So that's what I want to say tonight. Politics, leadership doesn't fall on people. People work hard for it. People prepare for it. And if you study the trends of most successful politicians, they started when they were young. You see, they got involved. They got involved. So let's make sure you put that at the back of your mind. All you are doing, paradigm shift in politics is also happening. You can get involved. No law can keep you. With all the social media, you can get involved. So make sure that is done. I'll read, some of you know I'm a pastor. I'll just read one scripture, and if you believe it, that's good. Proverbs 29 verse 2. Proverbs 29 verse 2 says, when the righteous is on the throne, the people will rejoice. What does it mean? When the right person is on the throne, the people will rejoice. But when the wicked, the wrong person is ruling, the people will groan. The people will groan. So all those people that will make policies for you, make sure you get involved. Some of you may have to just switch over to politics to get all the changes you want to make. You will easily get them done when you are involved in politics. So let me not hold us down here. I think I'll just stop here. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So get involved, please. And I think I should just stop it here, because the conference is over. Thank you, everyone. Have a great time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are grateful to have you share that with us. Everything rises and falls on the shoulder of leadership. Thank you, sir. We've come to the end of this great program, and I'm believing and hoping that we are able to do this continuously on a much bigger scale, because there are a vast number of teenagers who need to hear this, who need to start thinking in this direction, as it will be the thing that guides them, like Barrister Taiwo said. So everyone who participated here today, thank you so much for making yourself available, and we look forward to having you join us next year, and stay blessed.
Thank you. Bye. See you next year, Teams platform, and all the speakers, all the teenagers, you will get hearing from us. We have, for all those who register, we're going to send you certificate of participation. Thank you once more. We appreciate all of you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wonderful, wonderful.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Well done.
Bye. Thanks.
Well done. Excellent. Well done, Pastor Israel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you all.
Everyone. Bye.
Well done, Sister Vivian.